Hi there, I'm Jonathan Bocher from PlayGuitar.com, and today I want to teach you how to play that. More specifically, we're talking about what you can do with chord modifications, right? I just released a new course called the Rhythm Player's Toolbox, and we talk a lot about chord modifications, and there's such a great tool, with tools you can create things, right? That's not a bunch of preset, play this, this, and that. It's like, what can you build with this new hammer that you got, or this new saw that can cut an amazing, perfect circle or something? I don't know. Anyways, let's dive right into it. We're looking at, we're starting with a B minor, and I'll throw the chord shapes up on the side of the screen here, so we don't have to go through every single fingering. But this is a root 5 bar chord. So root 5 meaning our root note is found here on the 5th string, that's a B. And the trick with this chord is we're going to start by removing our second finger and we're playing that through, okay? And I'm not going to go through all of the the chord names here because that would just draw us off into a theory tangent. And good conversation for a different day. And then we hammer on, okay, that note where it would normally be, which is 2nd string, 3rd fret, okay. And I'll mention, don't worry about the strumming. If you want to strum this in a different way than I do, that is totally fine. I strum it just about differently every time I play this. Okay, but that's the thing you're working with, the little chord modification you're working with. Okay. Next up, E minor. With a twist, we're going to add in a G on the 3rd fret of the 1st string using our pinky finger, our 4th finger. Okay, and then go down to 2nd fret on the 1st string using our 3rd finger. And it's totally fine, again, if you strum the whole chord when you're doing this. If you've got some picking skills, then that's totally cool. You can go there. But you don't have to. You can strum it full chord. Okay, then we're going to a G with a twist once more. Okay, we're adding in an A. Now, this might be quite a stretch for you, okay? I get that. It took me a long time to kind of tell my hand, you're going to do this, and for it to actually listen. So, few little incremental steps to get there. First off, you don't need, I really like using this shape of the G chord, okay, with the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And so I've kind of trained my hand to go there, but you don't need that note. And if you take it away, it really kind of frees up your hand position a little bit. So that's still keeping the bottom end of the chord intact, right? So you can try that one and see if that works for you, because you don't need this note. This note here, that's a D, but if you bring it open, it's a B, and a B is already in the chord, okay? So that's one option, and the second option, if that's too difficult for you, is to just go like this, okay? And now we're actually only using 2 fingers. And the trick here is that with your 1st finger, up here getting that G, which is really important because that's the root note of the chord, that 1st finger is going to do double duty and also mute the 5th string, okay? Because open, that string is an A. Now, funnily enough, we're adding an A up here, right? So why wouldn't we want that A to be in the chord as well? Have a listen. Okay, it makes a really muddy, undefined sound when you've got the root note and then you add in that coloring note right beside it. It's just, what is going on? What is that chord, right? You just can't tell. So we don't want it there. We put it in a higher octave, and all of a sudden, when you've got a whole bunch of frequency space in between there and the root note, it sounds great. So all the rest of the strings, that's a D, a G, a B, Those are all notes straight out of the G major chord, right? So those are fine to play open. So all you got to do is mute that 5th string. And you get that really cool chord modification, okay? Next up is a sus4. Oops, I actually accidentally mentioned a chord name there. Couple different options for you. If you prefer playing A this way, that's fine with your 3 fingers packed in on the same fret. Personally, I don't relate to that way very well. It's hard for me to get a clean shape, a clean sound, I should say. But then you use your pinky to create that sus4 right here on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, okay? Now, personally, the way I prefer doing this is using my 1st finger to bar, and then I'll use my 3rd finger to get that sus note, okay? So same notes that we're playing with, it's just a different way of using the fingers. Now at this point, you could resolve to the B minor where we started, or we can throw in a little bonus riff and resolve to the D. And we'll just walk through this riff real quickly here. Again, this is another type of tool that's talked about in the Rhythm Player's Toolbox, is these intervals. We're on the 7th fret, 2nd and 4th strings only, so don't worry about any other strings. Okay, now I'm using my 2nd and 3rd fingers, and I'm hammering on. Okay, 7th fret, 4th string, 2nd finger. So, pick the string open, hammer it on, and then pick your 2nd string, 7th fret. Then, while it's still ringing out, obviously you got to do it a bit faster than I'm doing here because my string died off, but while it's still ringing, slide the whole thing down to the 5th fret. And then just pick those strings, 4th and then 2nd. And then slide everything down to the 2nd fret. Okay. Now I'm using my pick for the 4th string, and I'm using my next finger, my 2nd finger, for the 2nd string. If you want, you can jump around with your pick. That's totally fine. You can use your fingers. Choice is yours. Here's a bonus option for you, is you could just pluck both the strings together. Okay, keep it simple. Let's put all that together and see what we got. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. That's just an example of what you can do with when you're using chord modifications as tools. Tools help you create, right? So if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, check out my Rhythm Player's Toolbox. You can find it at PlayGuitar.com. There's a link under the video. And you have yourself a great day, and we'll see you again in the next lesson.